How's it going, everybody? This is the LFG Gundam Evolution channel. Everything and all news, updates, VOD reviews, whatever. It's all here on this channel. I am Artori Gold, and this is Clad2. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good. How about you, Artori Schmold?
Couldn't be better. We have 3 brand new units that were, of course, revealed to us in the video earlier today, along with the release date of September 21st. However, in the video, it really only gave us sneak peeks. I think it actually even censored some of the stuff in the video, but now we have everything. It's on the website, and we are going to deep dive and analyze, maybe a little bit of theory crafting, and learning a lot more about these units. Today's episode, of course, is Unicorn, who I personally think I will main. I don't know about you, but this character looks insane. Super fun.
I have actually not seen. I kind of heard you guys talking about it earlier, but I haven't seen the gameplay of it yet. So
Oh, this is going to be exciting for you.
This is a bit new for me.
This is great. So let's deep dive into it. And for our credentials, we are both top 500 Overwatch players. So obviously, we're really looking at it at a competitive and ranked kind of game sense here. So we don't know everything, but we know a little bit, right? I think the game is pretty similar to the class-based shooting game style. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We have a 2-star difficulty, mid-range, HP 800, 2 dashes. First off, that is the lowest amount of health, I'm pretty sure, in the game is 800. So it's very squishy, very easy to kill. 2 dashes, it's okay. 2 dashes is pretty good. 3 is the most. So I'll take 2. 2 is not bad. I mean, if you have lower health, it would be nice to have 3. For the first thing, we have the main weapon, the Beam Gatling gun. This thing is just crazy. 50 ammo in the clip. You shoot insanely fast. And you actually have 2 modes of fire. The left click, which is like a hip fire, and a right click, as you see you just did, which is a much more accurate and precise fire. Now, I don't know when or why you would want to do the left click over the right click to improve the accuracy. It seems way better to do this mode of fire pretty much 90% of the time, unless you're like full-on panic mode maybe and you have to hip fire. How do you feel about this weapon?
It kind of reminds me of Sombra a bit, actually, like the kind of the mid-range SMG kind of stuff going on.
That's a good point. It seems like it could go a little bit further. I'm not sure just how far the damage fall off would be, if there is any. But yeah, I just don't see any reason to use the left click. The right click just seems better in almost every situation, unless you don't want to waste that precious little half of a second it takes for that animation. Maybe in a panic mode situation, that time to transition to the right click might kill you. But more often than not, I think it's 90% of the time worth it. Fantastic looking weapon. Looks like a lot of fun to use. Let's go ahead and look. That is the ult. We'll save the ult for later. First ability, Psycho Field, Armor. Grants armor protection to nearby allies. So as you can see here, you actually have a little counter here on the screen. Let me scroll down a little bit. You see it has 1 person in your, like, AoE. And then when you press it, it gives you a bunch of armor. Look at that. You go up to, I think, 1050. So that's pretty big. It's about 250 bonus armor to not just you, but to everybody around you. Kind of like Lucio, right? It's that big amp, but for overheat.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Briggle mixed with Lucio. Yeah.
But very fast. Very strong ability. Very good for pretty much any situation. What's the cooldown like? Does it say? 13 seconds. Okay, the cooldown's... that's about right for an ability like that. You don't want a short cooldown on something like that. This ability is very powerful, and I absolutely love this. I think this is going to be one of the best support... Like, not... The way they have supports in Gundam is so different than other class-based shooters, right? It's basically a DPS hero with support potential. And this ability is just insane for team fights. In a full coordinated team pushing together, this ability is going to make people unstoppable. Let's go ahead and look at the third skill, which is a passive. Look at this. Keeps repairing nearby allies. You see this? It's basically Lucio. It's a passive. It's Lucio heal. So you have the Lucio passive heal, and then you have your amplify But instead of an amplify heal, it's Brig Rally, which arguably is way better because it can overheal you. That's insane for support value. And then we have the second skill, Shield Funnel. Now this one's interesting. Face the enemy unit and launch the shield funnel forward. As it charges, it tracks the enemy and it also fires at them, so it does damage. Upon impact, the enemy takes damage and is knocked back. All around, I think the damage on this ability is pretty minimal. If you look at it, it does very little damage, right? Maybe 100 damage. The knockback is kind of useful. But I think ideally what this reminds me of is Symmetra's old shield ability.
I was literally just thinking about that, actually. Yeah.
It
seems a little hard to hit.
It is pretty hard.
A lot of impact.
It's not a lot of impact. I think the best way to use this is to try to block projectiles, because you can use it like a shield, because it is a shield funnel. It is Symmetra shield. One of the biggest issues with it when I saw it in action on the Japanese streamers who were playing it earlier today, they had a funnel that they would shoot forward, and the enemies would easily just dash out of the way, right? Because everybody has a dash. So effectively, the knockback is never going to get used unless they're right in your face. Maybe.
Yeah, and you know, that can have some value, with the Barbados or even Axia.
Or the new hero who's an axe hero. That guy. The Zaku 2. So yeah, it's very situational. The impact is very minimal. I think it would be very good in situations where people are up close to you and you want them to get away. But more often than not, this isn't really going to be a big damage ability. I probably wouldn't throw it out there to try to do damage to people. Probably not very effective. It's more of a defensive cooldown. You can use it to get people maybe off of you, or to maybe block a big projectile. Maybe somebody has like Dom Trooper shoots a rocket at you. You throw it at the rocket. But more often than not,
it's definitely not like a tank ability.
Yeah. One other thing about it is it does follow them a little bit. It says it tracks the enemy, but when in action, it's a very slow turn rate. It doesn't really track. Like, it's very minor. It'll just, you dash away and you don't have to worry about it hitting you. But also the damage is so low, I wouldn't worry about it hitting you in general either way. This ability isn't very impactful, but you're definitely not picking this character for this ability, right? Just these abilities alone, being able to passively heal, be able to give overheal. I mean, he's almost a support hero in general from that. It's insane. I don't think you're ready for this ultimate, Glad. This ultimate is bonkers. Prepare yourself for this one, man. We have Beam Magnum. Check the video out here. You get 5 shots, and you just unload this giant AoE beam attack that just hits massive amount of people. It does a ton of damage.
Version of Overwatch 2's Winston's right click.
Yeah, it does so much damage, and it pierces. It hits enemies behind. It hits enemies in an AoE. I mean, this thing, it does so much damage. It's crazy. I love it. It has 5 shots. I believe you can just move with it. He's stationary, but you can move with it, but you do have a small duration to shoot all of those shots. But once you do shoot, it does have that wind-up animation, and I don't believe you can move during the animation itself, but you can move in between shots. So you do have to be a little stationary. I think all around this hero, I mean, first impressions, if I'm looking at a tier list situation, this is like A tier for me. Could break S tier in a competitive format. Just because of how good the heal is.
Looks like a really good character. Very, very strong damage output and very strong team utility.
I think the only downside is the shield doesn't look like it would be very good for a defensive option to keep him alive. And as you know, he has one of the lowest health pools in the game, so that could really hurt him. You have to really be safer with him. And he's a mid-range unit, so you kind of have to get a little bit close to do damage. I mean, your gun does do a lot of damage up close, but is that where you want to be with him with how squishy he is, right?
It really feels like Funnel needs to be used either as a get-off-me card for, like, melee, or maybe situations where you know your Barbados is going in or your Sazeby is going in, and you just throw out the shield. So it's like following with them to kind of give them a little extra support. But those are really the only two situations that I can imagine that actually finding a lot of use.
That's true. What's your final impressions? For me, I think he's a great hero. I think if you're looking to heal, perfect choice. Perfect choice. Out of all the healing options, this one looks great. I think overhealing is way better than just like actual healing. And in this situation, he does both. So so that to me just seems insane. And then the damage he deals seems pretty great. You can put pressure on enemies, and you're just trying to stay alive near your team. He's a team playing unit, and that's exactly what I like because I was a support player in Overwatch, so he just fits the bill for my playstyle. Ultimately, I can't say if he's S tier, but I think he's an A tier easily.
Yeah, definitely with the low HP, you have to be very careful. But I would agree, it is just a very strong choice, very good all arounder.
Yeah,
It's just gonna feel good playing it, getting because you'll still have that the survivability and the sustainability you get from your like your other skills, like actually kind of make up for the lower HP pool.
absolutely. I think you're gonna have to play a bit more of a back line with your team. Don't try to flank with this hero like you would with a Barb or Exia, obviously. But all around, I love it. I can't wait for it. And hey, sub to the channel if you like these videos and you can't wait to see more once, the actual game drops. Plenty of content will come there soon. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.